Well, hello, everyone. This is Roger Matthews and Stephen Moulton, and we're talking about, are you ready to get back to normal in your business? This is So What Is Your Point? A podcast that comes to you every single week. So, Steve, let's jump right into it. People are getting shots in their arms, and they are now starting to think, hey, maybe the world could get back to normal. And what will they be thinking about in their business? So, what comes to your mind when you think about getting back to normal? And what questions do you really want to ask yourself?
Well, I guess the first question would be, what will normal look like?
Yeah, everybody has a different idea, I suppose, of what normal is going to look like.
And will the past normal be what you're shooting for? Or are you going to look to the future and adapt to what's going on with the future holds, so to speak, for your new normal?
Right. So sometimes people are stuck in the past and they want things to just be back the way that they normally were. But I understand that a lot of people are now thinking along the lines, hey, it wasn't so bad working a little bit at home. And maybe they'd like some kind of a hybrid model, like many other schools are doing. Some of the kids are working a couple days from home, a couple days at school, and maybe a business could continue like that as well.
Well, I think if your view is that you're going to go back to the way you used to do things, just understand that everything has changed. The way people buy things changed. Their expectations have changed. Their fears, anxieties have all changed. So if you do what you've always done, you're not necessarily going to get what you got before.
Well, we've heard that saying before. Yeah.
Well, the old saying was, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. But that's not true anymore.
Right.
So
right.
What we're looking at is the fact that there's going to have to be a hybrid of what's worked in the past and what you need to adapt to in the future. So, for instance, many people now buy all their groceries online and get them delivered.
Right.
Amazon was big before. Now everyone uses them because it's easier to go online, find it, buy it, and let it be delivered than it is to go out hunting for it.
Yes.
Those are all challenges that businesses now face, is how to compete in this new market.
And what will really be the priorities of the business when they get back to normal? Will they focus on one thing or another? What really will it be? Will it be sales? Will it be personnel? Will it be financial?
Well, I think that it's an interesting point, because depending upon your business, I was listening to a speaker just yesterday who said he was always challenged by finding the great people he wanted to have in his locality. Now, because most people are remote, he can hire somebody anywhere in the country and get great people. He also turned around and said, okay, well, I noticed that I have mostly men on my team. Women could be a good asset. So he's focused on hiring women instead of men to round out his team's abilities and what have you. There's a lot of things you're going to be looking at, where your focus is on sales. And I think it's going to be one of these aspects. You have to have the right people on the bus, in the right seats on the bus. You're going to have them doing the things that they do well to grow your sales so that your financials can be healthy. And I don't think it's any one thing. you're going to be juggling a lot of things in order to be successful, and you can't take your eye off the ball.
I suppose in some corporations and companies, especially small businesses, they could really evaluate whether they really want to have a office for everyone. You know, you could certainly save a lot of overhead if you were to cut an office and make everybody work virtual.
Well, I think that there's advantages to having a place where people can meet.
Right.
So if working virtually is probably going to be a big thing in the future. But do you need 4 floors on a big high-rise building? Probably not. You probably don't
Yeah.
need all those offices. So
Right.
you still want a place to gather people together on occasion, once a quarter, what have you, that they can get together, they can interact, they can be social, but you can have that kind of camaraderie thing going on, and then they can go back and that can carry over into how they have their meetings and whatever have you. But there still needs to be, I think, one of the big aspects of work is the social aspect of it.
Right.
Being able to take a break and chit chat with a colleague and decompress, whatever have you. Those are all things that need to happen in the workplace for teamwork to take place.
Right.
So those are important aspects. But I think that the biggest thing here is success really comes when you're focused on serving others.
Right. Right. Serving others is a really valuable thing, and you know, people sometimes are not clear how they want to be served, and that requires us to really talk to our customers. Well, why not let our customers really set some of our priorities? I saw an article recently that Tim Cook was being interviewed by somebody in the Wall Street Journal, and he said one of the questions he was asked is, you know, what is your concern about competing with Facebook? And his comment was, well, I never think about how my competitors, whether I'm competing with my competitors or not. I think about my customers and let them determine the course of the business and work around their priorities and their interests and needs.
And that's wisdom, because I think that when you ask people what they want, and you can do surveys, but I think that just talking to people about what challenges and problems they're facing, and what would they value as far as a service, are things that you can get some great insight into what's important to them, and that can then result in you're being able to serve them more effectively.
Right. Absolutely. So the question that we have for folks who are listening and seeing our YouTube is, you know, will you reset your goals, and how will you go about doing that?
And I think that's really important. Whether or not you reset your goals is a question, but taking the time to actually assess what your goals are, and will those goals meet your customers' needs?
Right. Right.
Will they serve that? Will the goals you set serve your customers?
Right. And that's, I guess, a question that every company has to wrestle with a little bit and determine that in advance.
Well, I'm not going to say
you know,
every company needs to do that, but if you want to succeed, you better do that.
Yeah. Sure. Absolutely. Okay. I hope we've given you some things to think about today. So what is your point? And go out and apply some of these ideas and start thinking about what is your new normal. in the coming year and as we go forward in time, and implement everything. That's kind of a big key. If you don't implement, then this kind of goes to waste. But if you take your ideas that you learn along the way, implementing is crucial. So we hope you enjoyed this episode, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.